Hey. Welcome. Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. No water. That somebody hit a main line coming in from the lake, our main water source. So they hit another line yesterday. So to fix that one. And then, like, within I don't know what do you say, 9 hours or so, at least. I don't really know. I know it was working whenever I went to bed, and then whenever I got up at 2:30 to use the restroom, it was no longer working, and it has been working. And I missed out on all the water that they had downtown. I didn't realize that they were going to be having it downtown. So uh, it's raining outside, uh, pretty heavy, off and on. So there's a lot of water um, running through the gutters. Um, So I just went out there and stuck my containers and pitchers and got some rainwater. Hopefully they don't want to charge me for that. I don't have a license to collect rainwater. I think you're supposed to, but anyway, so don't tell on me. Um, so I was listening to D.cure earlier, which I mean I listen to D.cure pretty much every day, so that's nothing new. And we're listening to Undead, and he's got Mind Control coming up in like 2 days. Um, on Simper sometimes here on YouTube. Um, Dude's going through it's called that. It's his alphabet. DQ's been doing albums. Each album starting with the first letter of the album, starting with the alphabet. Anyway, he's all the way to J Janky just came out, I think. So K is up next. Anyway, and but on uh, over on Simper sometimes they're at Enemy. Each episode, he's been taking you through each album, and so I watched the one on Enemy today, which came out last night, and it's talking about both Enemy and Enemy Two. And Enemy was the album that I really got into The Cure on. Um, I used to listen to a lot of Tom McDonald, and because he was talking about stuff that I agreed with and that I got behind. I mean, and the music's fat and the rhymes are tight. Um, you know, he's good at it, but he's a character. You know, um, and I don't have a problem with someone playing a character, um, but you know, uh, I guess I guess part of the gimmick is you don't want to tell them that you're in character. I don't know. Anyway, for me, knowing that he has a history in wrestling, I can totally see that he's taken on a persona. You have the heel or the face, and in this case, um, he's part of this counterculture or whatever you want to call it. But basically, it's moderate and to the right. Um, conservative, uh, more conservative. But that's what his content has been about for the last couple of years. And like he's even gone so far as to mention about God and stuff. And obviously, I don't know the man's heart. That's not my place. But from the fruits that I've seen, Tom McDonald's not a Christian. You know, um, I don't see it. Um, yeah. But anyway, so I started. I was listening to him and saw a video or a post. It was in reference to Tom McDonald, and it was a song called "Dear Tom," and it's by Topher. So I started checking out Topher, and he's good, and I like him. and like 222 was a good album. I Feel Good is just it's so fun. Like you can't for me, I mean I can't not have that song on and not just be like, yeah, shut that stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. For me it's just such a fun song. Um but he does a lot of stuff with the Marine Rapper and D.cure, and so I started listening to it, and I really like D.cure. I like the Marine Rapper a lot also. Um, but I really was able to find things that I related to with Deeker, with him being a former alcoholic as well. Um, he's like 8 years sober now. It was like 13 years on the bottle, and then like the last 8 off. And I'm it's been over 2 years since I've had alcohol, and I wish I could say that about my drugs. I have relapsed some since I first started my road to recovery like 2 years ago. Um, but that's not where I'm at today. That's not what's going on today. Um, I can look at the things that DCure says, and most of it I can relate to. I've never been married, so I can't speak on that, on divorces and stuff. So as far as that part, I don't necessarily relate. But as far as just dealing with the substance abuse, the depression, I don't know if y'all can hear that. Yeah, yo, it was hailing whenever I went to my hometown to visit my son, and it had been hailing there earlier. There was still little pebbles of ice on the ground. Let's put some music in the background to this thing. Might as well. Let me turn. What do I have on? I have a DQ on right now. What do you know? Yeah. I think that's off Enemy 2. Yeah, make it make sense. Um, it's also got Bryson Gray in it. I like Bryson too. I like a lot of stuff that Bryson does. Um, we differ as far as doctrine, as far as beliefs, in our Christian faith, um, without a doubt. But one thing that we absolutely don't differ on is that Christ, um, is the answer. We do believe in grace. We do believe in the law of Christ, and that's love. And we do believe in His death, burial, and resurrection, for our salvation. Um, and that's salvation. That's the gospel right there. There's your good news. So there's your good news for the day. Um, God sent His Son to die on a cross, so that you don't have to suffer an eternity. Um, oh, that's that Leah Thomas stuff. Bryson is he's very straight to the point. Um, some of the stuff he says is considered controversial. He gets banned on a lot of stuff because he's like straight to the point about it. Um, he doesn't really mince words as far as when it comes to his belief, um, and um, talking about homosexuality, the trans movement, all this stuff. Um, you know, I believe what the Bible says, um, and homosexuality is a sin. Um, it's not my place to judge on that, right? Like, I think it's wrong. Okay, I think it's wrong. You know, but I do a lot of things that would be considered wrong in God's eyes. You know, so this is where grace comes in, and this is where someone's personal relationship comes in. You know, God's the only one. Like you and God know, if your relationship. God knows if you're saved or not. We can see from the fruits that you display, whether or not you seem saved. You know, um, excuse me. And from those fruits, we choose to surround ourselves with people who display fruits that we're attracted to. And the more that we're in this relationship with Christ, and the stronger it gets, the more that He's going to start to change the desires, that are inside of us, and it's going to change what we're attracted to. You'll find yourself really not having. Okay, I can only really speak for me. I have found myself realizing that there's a lot of things I just don't have time for anymore. Um, I don't know. It's like, if it's not something that has some sort of depth, um, I really don't want to deal with it. Like I'm having fun with my life, and it's kind of meaning something. Whether it's I don't know what it is, but I just feel like, I'm comfortable with my relationship with God, and the fact that it is growing and that it's continuing to grow, and it's trickling down into my relationships with my family members and whatnot. And there's a difference. Um, so it's been like 2 years. In April it'll be 2 years. I stopped drinking in February 2 years ago, but didn't start trying to quit doing drugs until April of 2 years ago. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, relationships. Um, oh yeah, 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 yeah. So you got like Bryson Gray, and then like Tyson James. Like I kind of put like those two are together. Like they kind of, I think they got like this. They got CCG. All CCG is their deal. Um, so you can go to allccg.com and sign up, and it's an all Christian uh, uh, music platform. I do believe they have an app that's coming soon, so I think it's like $7 a month. And they're adding more artists and stuff. But Tyson and Bryson. Um, the things they say are just like, straight to the point. Borderline, like, to say it's vulgar is using um snowflake language. I don't even know. It's For me, it's not offensive, you know. But I guess if you're in that group of people, then maybe you do find it offensive. I don't know. Um, I could see how a lot of people would be offended by them, but also at the same time, um, it's okay to be offended. Like, that's not my problem. Like, you being offended is not my problem. Um, you being offended is not their problem. That's your problem. What is it about it that offends you? And then it's like, do you have the maturity to handle the situation appropriately? Do you handle the situation like an adult, like a mature adult? If you're a believer, are you dealing with the situation in a spiritual way? In a mature as a mature Christian? Um, who are your influences? Who is your counsel? You know, Ask yourself that question. Who is your counsel when shit's the fan, and you're not really sure what to do, and you have to talk to somebody? Like, you've been praying, like, but like at some point you got to talk to somebody else. Like, you have to get another human being involved. You know, um, high res. Like, I heard of high res a while back whenever he was doing. I remember like the McDonald's rap. Like, and like that's what I remember high res from, like, YouTube first getting like going and stuff. And then one day I'm listening to. I don't remember if I heard him on. Uh, yeah, variant. Okay, yeah, I heard him on this. And the song was playing. Like, I was just checking out the album. It had just come out, so I had just had it playing, and like I heard the sound, and like I recognized his voice, because it's like, dude, he has a lot of talent, and I like him, and I always had a lot of respect for him. And so, like, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, good gosh, I was like, that's got to be Rez. And so I walk in there, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, sure enough. And so I scroll, I'm looking, hell yeah. And so I got to looking online. He has some more stuff, some newer stuff, some more mature stuff, that I really like. Also, that he's doing with, what's that guy's name? Jimmy Levine, um, something like that. I'm not really gonna. I don't really want to start messing with my computer because if I start doing that, then I'm gonna start getting off. And so just having the music going is enough to kind of keep me bouncing around because that's kind of really what I wanted to talk about. Um, More so, and also the fact that it's I I'm not sure. I can't remember. I saw a video with what Rez was doing with somebody, and I know he's. I don't really know that he's a Christian per se. I know he's a godly man, or at least I don't know if he's Jew or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But regardless, he's got this stuff out, and it is about God, and it is about putting God first. And it's like that's to me, that's like a step in the door, like saying God, like all right, yeah, obviously God is the answer, but more specifically, Jesus Christ is the answer. Like to say someone believes in God is to me in my mind it's like okay, acknowledging that you breathe air. Yeah, there's something out there. There's an intelligent being that designed all this stuff, that set all this stuff up. Humans cannot create life from nothing. It doesn't happen, and it will not happen. It will never happen. It cannot happen. God's the only one that does that. God's the only one that has ever done that, and that's it. We can create life from life, and that's it. Period. Um, they're gonna keep trying, and they're gonna keep trying it, and whatever, rock on, dude. But the fact of the matter is that's God, and so for what are we looking at, like 4,000, 5,000 years or so, 6,000 years, 4,000 years, 5,000 years, 5,000 years, yeah, about 5,000 years. Like God was the answer, and even for those people that believed in God and that worshipped God, whenever they died, they didn't go to be with Him. Like this is not something that I feel like was um, I really understood growing up like in church, going to Sunday school and NYF and everything. Um, that nowhere in the New Testament or in the Old Testament, and even in the Gospels. um, well, I guess in the Gospels, whenever Christ starts talking about His kingdom, so obviously it's through Him. But in the Old Testament, nowhere in there do they talk about people dying and going to heaven. You know, it's it's the kingdom of heaven on earth. It's heaven on earth. It's always heaven on earth. You know. So whenever people die, they go to Sheol, the grave. They go to death, Hades. We call it hell. That's They're all the same word, but our idea of hell is this place of torment. But that's just our English translation of the Greek word. And then the Hebrew word is Sheol. So you got Sheol, Hades, hell. They're all the same thing. This place, Sheol, hell, Hades, all the same thing. At one time had two different sections to it. Okay, everyone that died went down there. Okay, those that did not believe went to the place of torment, and those that believed went to the place of paradise. Christ calls it paradise. He also calls it Abraham's bosom. So you had these two different places. There's a story that Christ tells about um, the beggar Lazarus and the rich man. Clearly says, that there's two different places. One can't reach the other can't reach the other one. So there's no way that they can be together. So whenever Christ died, goes to hell, spends 3 days, preaches to those, says, I think it's Isaiah, whatever, Isaiah, where it says that he took captivity captive. Anyway, so Christ goes down there. Whenever he was preaching and saying that nobody gets to the Father except through him, like he meant it. Like, for some reason, people don't want to take Christ's words literally. Like, why would he say something that he didn't mean? You know, um, sometimes people try to read too much into it and they try to spiritualize stuff. Um, like, hate to let you know, but you're not spiritual Israel. I'm not spiritual Israel. Like, I'm part of the body of Christ. I don't want to be a part of Israel. Um, they got their own thing. Because I'm not a part of Israel, and in fact, I'm a part of the body of Christ. You can go to Thessalonians where it says that we are not appointed unto wrath. That's a promise. That's a guarantee. That's our promise. The Jews don't have that promise. You know, the believers before they didn't have that promise. We have that promise, and it's only in this age of grace. You know, Romans through Philemon. Read it. Check it out. Um, email me, text me, um, DM, whatever, whatever, whatever. Um, let me know. Oh, here's Tyson James right there.
Strange vibes. My eyes are on the main guy. I'm aiming high cause one day I'm gonna stay by. Until then, man, I'ma get the bacon. Don't judge a book by its cover. No, you're mistaken.
So like with Tyson James, um, he had a rough upbringing. Also, was into drugs and stuff. And then he got into I guess he was doing carpentry and stuff, but he was framing, he was building houses, and he had his own business and stuff, and he was doing that. And so that's what he was doing on the side. That's what he was doing, and he was doing music on the side. And it finally got to the point where he was doing well enough with the music and the videos and everything like that that he no longer had to work full time. Um, so like that to me, for someone to be able to live comfortably, um, just doing what they love, dude, it does not get any better than that. I mean, that's just like that's perfectly simple, like right there. You get to do what you love, and you don't really have to stress about it. Like there's gonna be stress. I get that. I'm not saying there's not. I know the man has stress. He's got like freaking 6 kids or some stuff. Like, like he's got a whole damn basketball team. um, but so Tyson to me is just he's like one of the dudes that I've known all my life, kind of, and then he gave his life to Christ, and he does that, and he's full on with it. Um, he's got some pretty by today's standard offensive songs. Toxic, it's pretty good. Um, Here to Stay is a good album by Tyson. Um, so like with D.cure and the Marine Rapper and Topher, they make up Space Force, and like all three of them are veterans. Two of them are Air Force, and then obviously the Marine Rapper, is former Marine. I've got a lot of family that has been a part of the military service. I have some that are still in the military service. I have some that have retired from the military service, and I have a lot of respect for our members of the military. Um, and I just do, um, you know, and so then the fact that they're Christians and they're conservative, and that's what they speak on, that's what they rap about, um, so it's kind of like I get kind of introduced to this stuff right at the time where I'm walking away from so much of a secular life and learning to devote my life to God and making that decision to be a servant of God. And for me, music's always been a part of my life. It's always been a large part of my life. It's been very very influential. I know I've been around a lot of musicians for the majority of my life, and it's so much fun. It's an art form. I'm a big fan of artistry, and that comes in so many different ways and different forms. I mean, um, you know, everything from obviously your paintings and drawings to your music to your comedians to whatever. I'm selling so many people short. There's really just operating in a creative fashion and um, not being afraid to express yourself and not it's beyond not just being not worrying about being afraid, but knowing that you're making a living off of your creativity. You're not working for somebody else. You're not profiting somebody else's idea. You're not profiting someone else's dream, because honestly that's what the majority of jobs are. They're profiting someone else's. I mean, we have people obviously that own their businesses, and hopefully that's their dream. And but the fact of the matter is, your normal everyday dude, their job is not their dream. Um, you got people working 40, 60, 80 hours a week. They're not they're not in their dream job. I promise you, they're not living the dream. Um, you know, surely, if you ever hear someone say, living the dream, that's that's a lie. Um, One thing I like about D.cure is, he's not afraid to talk about that dark stuff. I'm getting pretty close to keeping this to a 30-minute segment. I've already talked for 26 minutes. That's insane. So like I get this honor, right? And I'm a part of a ministry, right? Like the dude that runs the ministry, like they told him, wait 2 years or whatever before being a part or doing any ministry, and after he gets out of prison, um, and so I did it, and so this man's kind of like my mentor, and so that's what he went through, and so like I'm spending this time here. I graduated the program last year, but I'm still going up there pretty regularly. Um, and I get to spend time with people, and I get to talk about the word, and I get to teach grace doctrine. It's something I enjoy. So that is a part of me, and that's going to be a part of this channel. Is I am a Bible believing Christian, and I am going to I'm going to have non-believers on my channel. Okay, I'm going to talk to them. We're going to interact with them. I'm not going to like the people that I'm going to let in are longtime friends or whatever. It's not like these are people that I spend a lot of time with currently. I try not to associate too much with the non-believer. Um, that sounds like a dick, but it's just the fact of the matter is for my own relationship and my own sanity, and my own health. I got to stick around people that believe the same way that I do. You know, even if we differ a little bit on doctrine, dude, it's got to be about and at the end of it, our morals have to be agreed on, and it has to be Bible based. It has to be Christ based. It has to be. Um, we're not called to be a part of the world. Even though we are in it, we're not called to be a part of it. We're called to be something different, something separate. We're sanctified, we're holy, we're we're made just, and we're made righteous because of Christ. You know, and that's a bond that all believers have, and we shouldn't deny it. You know, but also at the same time, you don't have to be a dick. you know, um, but love comes in many different forms. That's also true. Anyway, so I'm gonna shut this down. A little bit. All right, so I am Uncle Sam, and this is brought to you by Uncle Sam's Vape Lab. Go to UncleSam'sLab.com. Way too many sick words from me for you to call a bluff. Had a it as a kid, I was rapping, never faltering up. Told myself when I was small that I would make them all rough. All that you called them made them strong as Gibraltar. Follow up. We got a little bit of blueberry, maple butter going on today. Right now I'm jumping between that and blue raz cotton candy. All custom made. UncleSam'sLab.com. I am Uncle Sam. We'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, like, do all that stuff. All right.